Hey everybody, welcome back to the Monday Q&A show, the show that answers your questions, helps you in a pinch, and also has something pretty cool to talk about in the web store. I know you're like, oh, Jonathan, I've got new stuff. Real quick, before we get into the Q&A show, I've got new patches in the store. These are the new dogs. I got the PJ St. Bernard, that's right, and also got the German Shepherd over here on the ammo crate, kind of a la COD style, Call of Duty style, I guess, or tactical doggo with the little thing on the back. Anyway, I got these two guys, plus I've got some more in the store, got some Sing patches, a little, hey, I love this is my favorite one, right? Come on, that's what she said, right? And then, you know it. If you know what this is, you know what it is. If you don't, it's just Airsoft. It's a way to rep the thing. Anyway, guys, I'm super excited. These have been a long time in the making. I've actually got even more coming here in the next month or so, but this is just the next wave. I'm going to try to releasing 4 or 5 new designs every month or two and adding to the store to give you guys more morale patches, more cool stuff to collect. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that. If you guys want to get in the store, the link is in the corner and it's also down in the description box below. Just click it, head over there. Free shipping worldwide. That's it. What the price you see is the price you pay, goes in the inbox and out. Keep in mind, they do come from here where I live in Taiwan. It takes a few weeks to get to you. Its shipping's unfortunately a little slow for the free shipping. I'm trying to work on that, trying to find a faster but affordable way to get it to you guys. Also remember, this is your show. It means all the questions are coming from you. And real quick on appearances before I jump into the question section, I will be at EVIX Airsoftpalooza in Houston, Texas, High Ground Airsoft, and that will be on May the 18th. That is a Saturday. Please come out and see me and all the other people in the Airsoft universe that are going to be there. I think pretty much anybody who's kind of on the YouTube or media space, we're all going to be there. I would love to hang out with you. I'll probably bring my gear, play a little bit, or have somebody bring some gear so I can play. And just hang out, chat, you guys can ask me questions, all that stuff. I'll be chilling around there. I may have my own table, maybe hanging out at the EVIC table with those guys. I'll be somewhere. Trust me, you'll be able to find me there. And I might even bring some patches with me too, if you guys want to come in person and check them out. Anyway, enough about that. Let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that's your questions in the Tippmann mail call. SS writes, hey Jonathan, what are your opinions on the spring airsoft grenades such as the GBR one? They seem to be slowly rising in popularity. So there's the GBR and the T238. I think it's like Mark III now. There's a bunch of these spring grenades. I've seen some designs. This one is the one that flips up. I'll link a video if you guys want to. I may even have a plan over my shoulder here. If you guys want to see what it's all about. Some people have been doing reviews on them. I have not personally played with these, but watching the reviews, it seems like they're designed to launch out anything. I've even seen these things marketed toward the Nerf side of the house, not just loading BBs up in them. Basically, they're just spring powered. So when they hit the ground, they go off and they launch BBs up and around. They're not going to throw them, it seems, as far as a gas powered grenade, but these things are much more affordable, like way more affordable than a gas grenade. And you don't have to bring a consumable with you. You don't have to bring CO2, green gas, all that other junk, and you don't have to do some crazy building. You literally just kind of load them in, kind of do your little thing, put it back together. I've seen some of these, I think some are a little more fragile than others, but I've noticed with almost every single grenade except for the original Tornado grenade back in the day, they all had a level of fragility. They would all, durability-wise, depending on how hard you are on these things, if you roll them into a room, no problem. If you're like, launching them from across the field against a building, which isn't a good idea. You shouldn't throw something like that in airsoft. But if you do, the survivability is going to be a little bit on the lower side. But I think this is cool. I think this gives you a more affordable grenade option in airsoft, as well as something that might be easier to use at the same time. You know, you don't have to, and also more affordable on the consumable side too. You don't have to maybe like keep green gas. If you're not a pistol guy, you don't carry, or GBBR guy or gal, you may not carry that stuff with you, so you may not need that. So yeah, just my thought. I think they're cool. I think there's room for improvement from the videos I've been watching. I've yet to try one myself. I might actually pick some up. I'm gonna be in the US here in a few weeks. I think I mentioned in the first of the show here. I will maybe try to grab a couple of them, bring them back and do kind of a once-over review, give you my full thoughts on these things and see what if they're worth picking up or not. Eli Haney writes, hey Jonathan, I'm not going to be able to play airsoft for about 2 years. Any tips on long-term storage of AGs and CO2 pistols? Well, you're talking to a guy who's kind of stored his stuff, and I've got some stuff in the States that's been over 2 years now, and I've experienced some rusting issues. So let me give you my feedback. First off, dry place, cool dry place. That's a great place. Dry is very important. Pick up some of those dry bags, those desiccant bags. They're like the big versions of the small things you get in like crackers, like the little rice crackers and things like that, the little pack that says do not eat. These are just large versions of those. Grab some of those. They're gonna keep your stuff from getting rusted. Now, not all airsoft's made of iron content metal, so it's not going to all rust. Some of it may just oxidize in a different way. Some of this is kind of like a zinc alloy, a lot of the material there, but if you got some nice stuff, there's some steel parts, you're gonna run into it. I've run into that on some of my stuff. In fact, I've got a red dot somewhere around here. Oh, it's not on that one, it's on my 416. That the little throw lever on it's rusted. I'd had it stored I brought it back just from the States a couple weeks ago. It was a replica red dot. It's like 2 years old and it had rusted a little bit. So my advice, do that. I have a couple of my favorite products in a gun case, and I've got a bunch of those dry bags in there, a couple of them all around it, and those have had no problem at all. So that's a good way to store your AAGs. Now, keep in mind that you're gonna deal with some issues. Maybe the hop-up bucking might need replacing. The O-ring could have dry rotted over the course of a couple years in there, so you may have to do a little bit of maintenance. Also, some firing. I think to get that air seal, it's gonna take you maybe, get 50 or 100 shots in there to get that air seal going again. But I would probably recommend, if you're gonna take it out of storage after 2 years, take it to a tech. Let a shop do a once-over kind of a maintenance, a re-lube, recheck, check the O-ring, maybe get you a new O-ring, new bucking in there, the rubber components that are important, the air seal components in there, and kind of go from there. Piston will be fine, gears will be fine, as long as you make sure there's no moisture issues. Do not store with the battery in it. As for CO2, take the CO2 out. I usually leave my CO2 in my mags. I know you're not supposed to when I'm playing often, because then I just don't waste it. I don't want to waste like a half-used CO2 power lid in there, but you want to store those without the CO2 in them. You may run into seal issues again after 2 years. They could dry rot and stuff like that. If you're buying a good product, I know a lot of the Elite Force / Umarex stuff have maintenance and rebuild kits. So the parts that would dry out and wear out over time, you can actually replace those. You can probably find the replacement valves online too if you have leaking problems. Little silicone oil goes a long way on the little seal components when you go to put the CO2 stuff back in there. Definitely, again, just like I said, maintain, lube, all that once you pull it back out. Green gas, you want to leave a little gas in the mag, just a little bit in there to keep that air seal nice and thing. I'd probably put a couple drops of silicone or some oil, non-petroleum based oil on the O-rings and all the little valve components before you put it away, just to give it a little extra oomph before you store it. It's kind of my tips on long-term storage if you're looking at doing that, but be prepared that you pull things out, you might have to replace valves, O-rings, buckings, things like that are going to maybe have trouble over the years, just shrinking, drying out, things like that. But to maintain the rust, I highly recommend investing in those dry bags. Those are a fantastic way to do it. Or I've seen some gun socks that are kind of like, put your firearms in that prevent rusting. They're covered in oil. They're like kind of like a sock, this huge sock thing. I don't know if I can find them. They're like massive sock and they're kind of coated in petroleum oil. And for the outside of your product, your gun, it's for real firearms to go in for long-term storage so they don't rust. I don't know, I've never tried that for long-term. It should work in Airsoft. Also, you may have to clean some of the oil off when you're done, but it should minimize the rusting there. Or the dry bag thing. Either one works really well. Reesmurrow writes, Cape Fear footage soon? Yes, actually, yes, I will have that soon. If you guys don't know, I went to America, went to North Carolina, went and played Cape Fear, Rebellion, and that was at Black Ops Airsoft and Paintball in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I went there a few weeks ago, and I've got the footage. I'm working on it as we speak. So probably, I've got one more video got to release. It's a product video. Before that, I'm gonna do a review, maybe an unboxing as well, too, and then, so I'm thinking early next week, should have something. But I'm going to definitely have it up before I go to America. So 1.5 weeks, we'll be seeing that. I got, I think, 2 maybe gameplay videos out of this one and a loadout video, because you guys always ask about that one. So it'll be like a 3-video package. I'm going to try to have them all done so I can just kind of drop them all together to give you something back to back so you're not waiting a long time between the first one and the last one. FTS Lone Wolf writes, hey Jonathan, do you think Airsoft will keep growing or eventually die at some point? Okay, this is one, I've actually it's almost like revisiting a video I did a few years ago. Airsoft at one point was just on this climb. And if you actually look at like search terms and all that, like Google search history of the word airsoft, airsoft was on a massive climb up to about 2012. And in 2012, it just fell out. And a few things happened there. Walmart stopped selling airsoft. So the big box stores all decided to pull out, or not all of them, but some of them did. The major retailers. So the interest in airsoft of somebody walking through Walmart, seeing airsoft product going, oh, that's cool. And then looking online and going, oh, there's even cooler stuff than what Walmart sells. It's kind of like the entry level stuff. Or people starting with the entry level and then moving up to something from like a local shop or like online like eVic and those guys. So I think a lot of interest died because Walmart pulled it away. So people weren't exposed to it just browsing through the aisles in the sporting goods department. I think that's been it. This is like a discovery thing. Now, with that huge fall, everything kind of leveled out. At that point, a lot of the shops that maybe weren't running their business correctly or were kind of not managing their funds right, unfortunately failed. Some of those went away, but I think now we are pretty steady. The people that are in the business now are business people. They're running it well. If you have a shop near you, chances are they know what they're doing. They're a good shop, especially if they've been around for a little while. They're running a proper business. And I think before you could almost just throw guns on the wall and be like, hey, I'm here, and do all right. Now you actually have to run it like any other retail business and be smart about it, be a good business person about it. So do I think it's growing or dying? I think we're kind of at that like a status quo, maybe a little bit of a climb. It also depends on the country. Looking at America, like the United States, that version of America. I know there's a lot of you guys who live in South America. They'll be like, Jonathan, it's America too. In North America and the United States, I think it's kind of stable at this point. I think we're seeing good shops. I think there is some growth. I think you're seeing growth at the big box stores. I think the bigger guys like eVic are continuing to grow the market share. I think the other smaller shops are still doing pretty darn well. They're holding their ground. They're doing all right. They're running a profitable business for the most part, especially if they have a field attached to them, especially if they have an indoor field. They're doing very well, I think, in comparison to the shops that may not. In other countries, some are different. It's all based on country law. Some of the countries, the hobby is still kind of young, not really extremely well organized, so it has a lot of room for growth. Some it's extremely organized, so it's going to be kind of stable with maybe some small growth. All in all, my feeling is airsoft is here to stay unless something major happens in a massive airsoft country to change the laws. I think it would have to be a hit like in a country like Japan, United States, the UK. We'd have to see a real big nasty in one of the major like airsoft. Sweden, Denmark, Norway, like to have some laws shift. I think those are the places we have to look at to say, man, if something happened there, it might echo through the rest of the world, and other countries may go, they're doing it, why aren't we? I think also maybe like in South America, if you look at like Chile, Chile's a huge airsoft country. I think that could have some effects, and especially in that part of the world, if there's an issue. But I think as long as it holds tight and strong in those areas, and we play this hobby and sport properly and aren't idiots and crazy people with our stuff, we should continue to grow. And I feel like we are. I think we still have a lot of life, a whole lot of life left in this. And I think for me, the only risk I see, and I think this is something that Paul, who owns Red Wolf, brought up in a panel when we were at IWA was, and I think he hit the nail on the head, is I think our only risk is down the road virtual reality. I think VR, when it matures, it gets so much to the point where you really can have like an empty warehouse, put on a VR helmet and run around and blast each other and have feedback, and you're not really using airsoft, you're using like these virtual blasters and everything's three-dimensional. I think at that point, we're probably gonna have something that will like pretty much challenge airsoft. But until we're to that level of technology, until we have like basically an empty warehouse, put on our headsets and go play, and you can have any gun you want in your hand, I think that's probably the next step that could damage or hurt airsoft as a hobby and a sport. But until that happens, if it even happens, I think we're good to go. At least that's my thought. I want to know what you guys and gals think. You all have different perspectives from different parts of the world, different parts of the United States. Let me hear from you guys and gals down below. I love last week your input you gave about the FPS levels. I read a lot of comments all over. It was eye-opening from different perspectives from different countries. I want to hear the same this week. What do you guys think? Your country doing good? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? Is there a problem? Is there legal issues? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to see what's going on, and we can all have a good, healthy discussion down there. All right, guys and gals, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one actually comes from Giancarlo Escobar, and he actually comes in with this one. He goes, hey man, you gotta check out AFOMD's channel. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of these guys. So I clicked on it, I was like, oh, they got a decent amount of subscribers, like 8,000. This is pretty cool. And I started clicking through the videos. There's painting tutorials, there's montage videos. They're actually quite good. I was actually having trouble pulling those down so you guys could watch them over my shoulder. I wanted to do one of the montage videos, but I think because it has music in it, I wasn't able to pull it down through the normal ways because I'm in a different country. It might have been restricted. I don't know. However, there's some great stuff, including a massive gameplay series from Rev 9, and that is at Bala. I had to tell you that this was so cool. Like the big Rev 9 game. It's like 7. I think he's up to number 7. Like in the series, he's releasing like one a week or so, like this. Super cool stuff. I think this channel has a lot of variety. Tutorials, the montage with like the short montage videos, very, very well edited. Very well edited. I mean, trust me, there's a lot of work that goes into this. I can appreciate the effort and energy that he is putting into this channel. I'm watching these videos going, man, that's a lot of work. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. This isn't like, hey, check out the channel, it's okay. I really think this is a great channel and very undervalued when it comes to the number of subscribers. This one's definitely highly recommended. And I think Giancarlo Escobar, thank you so much for this recommendation because it's a good one. It definitely earned my subscribe. Like, hard mash sub, hit the notification bell, like that level of subscribe from me, which usually to hit the notification bell takes like that step up, that real like, hey, I really want to know when he drops another video. So that's just me, that's mine. I encourage you guys to go check it out. Click the link, it's up in the corner, or it may have already popped up. Also down in the description box below if you guys want to check it out. And if you guys like what you see, hit the sub button over there on his channel and let him know I sent you. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. Again, don't forget, web store, new patches and new tactical doggos. I've still got the other ones up there too. These are gonna be like running stock. So I still got the Corgi, still got the Shiba. Now I've got a German Shepherd added to the list as well as the St. Bernard PJ. And I've got some of the, the fun, that's what she said, and this and that. And of course, all the other ones up there already. Free shipping worldwide. Again, like I said, price you see is gonna be in your mailbox, delivered to you. So anyway, thanks a bunch. I will see you next week. Until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun, put your questions down below in the comment section for next week. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.